Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott Mackenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, welcome to Industrial Talk. Thank you very much for joining the #1 industrial-related podcast in the universe that celebrates you industry professionals all around the world. Yes, you are bold, brave, you dare greatly, you innovate, you collaborate, you are solving today's problems each and every day. You never stop, you are relentless, and we celebrate you because of that. You are the heroes in this story. We are broadcasting on site, SMRP, we're on the floor. And it's not as noisy as it's been in the past, but trust me, it's a buzzing. And it is a collection of problem solvers, individuals. And if you're in the world of asset management, reliability, and maintenance, you need to be here. Do not hesitate. In 2026, you need to be here. So don't make. Oh, she's awesome. Mobius Institute's in the house. Paige Haddy. She's all here. Let's get going. Here. She's all here.
That's debatable.
Nah, let's get cracking. This is awesome.
Let's go.
I am so glad. You're leaving today, by the way, aren't you?
I am leaving at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning to head to Las Vegas for another conference. It never stops. Relentless. We know it well.
Do you like Las Vegas?
So I've actually only been there once for fun and several times for business off strip, and I could take it or leave it. They have good food.
Yeah, but it's going to set you back. It's going to
time-wise?
No, it's
or dollar-wise.
Dollar-wise.
So all I know how to play, Scott, is blackjack, and I don't know. I like to watch it. I like to enjoy the energy of Vegas. I think it's hyper energetic. Yeah. People go there for the fun, and it never stops. You want to talk about not quitting? That town keeps going. But for me, I'm not a night owl, so.
So I grew up in a small town outside of in a town called Barstow, and it was about an hour and a half outside of Vegas. Okay. And so as a kid, we would get into the car and go to Vegas. But that's when Vegas was, hey, we're going to make our money on people gambling, but not on food or drink. So for
tourism,
me, being cheap, I'm there. I'm going to say, yeah, give me that breakfast. Yeah, give me that prime rib. Yep, $5. Got it. No problem. I can afford it. Yeah, and we would just have. Yeah, I would gamble.
You know what? Someday it's on my list because the Hoover Dam, the Grand Canyon,
awesome.
All of that. There, I've never seen any of that. So it won't be this trip. It won't be tomorrow. But it's on my list. So in the future.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It is. It's
good
big.
To hear. Nice.
It's big. Have you been? You said Grand Canyon?
Never been. Yeah, I know exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. Do you have a camera? You do have a camera on you that just captured your face. Yes. So it's on my list.
Oh.
I know.
Because we went to the Grand Canyon. I remember the first time. It's vivid. And you roll on up and you say, yeah, that's grand. And it's grand.
It's grand and it's a canyon.
It's grand. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. Before we get going, let's talk a little bit about Paige. Give us a little background on who you are, and then we can dive into Mobius Institute because I'm very passionate about what you guys do.
Sure thing. Thanks, Scott. So I'm Paige Haddy. I'm the Vice President of Marketing for Mobius Institute and Noria Corporation, newly. Yes, very exciting.
That's new?
That's new.
Okay, we'll talk about that
we
too.
can, more to come.
We'll dive into that.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm in my pink today for those who are able to see. Mobius Connect. I'm a big part of that. Doing all the things: marketing, publishing, events, anything content related, anything people related. Which is why we're here at SMRP. Just be among friends. As you know, it's great to see connections from any phase. So that's awesome. But I've been in the industry for 12 years now. Variety of roles, and just love what we do, and I'm passionate about people connecting, about continuing education, whatever that might mean. I don't have a traditional marketing background, which I know we've talked about before, but marketing to me is people, and so that's why we're here, to connect with people.
Do you find, when you come to events like this, and it's good and bad, and the good is like, I'm coming home and I'm seeing all my great friends and we're slapping and all this stuff. But there are all the same ones that speak and talk and have the passion to be able to do that and try to inspire and all of that. We need new people. We need new blood. We need, and I'm not dissing these individuals because they're just like brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
But we need to expand that.
So I think expanding it, but also seeing the generation that we're now used to, maybe acclimated to, I would love to see us take on more of a mentorship role with that, right? And help bring up people who might not be in that role already or comfortable to teach that, because I think we lead by example.
Yeah.
And I think the younger generation, we just did a conference a month or so ago in Milwaukee. We did a military veterans stream, and our speaker coordinator had the most unique role of them all, trying to get these veterans comfortable sharing their stories.
Yes.
Because they were comfortable with their story but didn't know how to communicate it.
Yes.
So we need to lead by example.
Yes.
And demonstrate communication and teaching.
Yeah, because we need to inspire the next generation. We need to figure that out.
Yes.
And the only way that I know how is that these individuals, all of these, we're responsible for being able to tell that story.
Yes.
You need to just sort of say, now that whole uncomfortable feeling, put it aside, stick it on the shelf, whatever it might be, and tell your story.
Yeah.
Because
so I like to call it fuel. So rather than put it on the shelf and put it over there, use that as your fuel.
Well, I've already wrote down
Embrace
mentor.
it.
I think that's a great thing.
Embracing that fear or the anxiety or the nerves or the uncertainty. And that so much connects to everything that we're going through between our Mobius and Noria organizations right now. Not necessarily uncertainty, but newness. Embracing things that may not be known yet. And just saying, okay, use that as fuel forward rather than ignoring it or putting it somewhere where, okay, we're not going to look at it, or, it's going to linger there and give this kind of that vibe that's just uncertain or that uneasiness. We can embrace it and make it something different.
Yeah, that sounds great in words. I mean, you do it, you're fine, you're here.
But action, right? Putting it to action is different. It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And see, if the way, this is sort of the way I look at it. So there's this, I believe, a renaissance. I believe there's some really exciting things happening in this country and around the world, but let's just say in this country.
Yeah.
And all I can think of is with all of this talk about, hey, we got capital, we got money here, we're going to do this, we're going to expand that. And everything is like, okay, that's great, but we're the people. How do we train? How do we inspire? How do we get past the image of manufacturing being a dirty job or whatever it might be? We need to do that. And the only way that I know it is you and everybody on this floor to be able to do that and step up. That's that mentorship.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think we can extend that. I mean, so there's a couple pieces to that, especially when it comes to putting on events like this great one with SMRP, or, I mean, you look at Reliable Plant, you look at Mobius Connect, whatever industry event that you'd like. I think it's on us as speakers or as presenters to extend that olive branch in that moment and focus on the education, not necessarily the solution. Obviously, there's cases and stories to be told with value there, but pairing up with practitioners or pairing up with people who have stories, again, that they might not know where to share, how they might connect with the audience, and just, again, extending the olive branch to give them a platform to do it. And that's really what it's about.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. What is your take on the current education system and its ability to be able to be nimble and relevant and be able to deliver education that is meaningful here now?
I mean, I think the key word there is reliability. I think finding training or education that is reliable, something that can be trusted. I mean, you find that with, you know, these big, you look at SMRP, you look at Mobius Institute, you look at Noria, you look at people who are in the training and certification realm. There's many more that I didn't name, but you look at who is reliable, who is consistent, who can give someone the best educational experience that's trustworthy. I think that's really important.
Well,
trust
it's
huge because the value to certification, whether it's accredited certification or not, is that you're going to walk into a room either for a job interview or to your boss. You're looking to get promoted, or you're looking to be trained to then be able to teach your team, to arm them to become safer, more successful, or whatever the goal is. You want to know that you're giving them information that's reliable, that you can actually apply, and that won't hurt anybody. It won't lead to faults or failures, that it's going to lift everybody up. So I think having reliability in an education partner, or just knowing that the partner has invested in the best, most reliable, consistent material that's accurate, is key. Updating that material, making sure that it's, you know, that piece from a logistics standpoint it's challenging to stay up to date.
It is.
Especially with when you're global, like these organizations are. You get so many varying opinions. That's why, I mean, being ISO accredited or holding yourself to an accreditation standard is important, because that's kind of the core, right? So if you're aligned with the core value of what, being an accredited certification body is, then at least okay, you've got that. You're held accountable to something. And then whatever you can add to that, or the way of delivery of training or education, is important. But I think the beauty of events like this is that you're not only hearing from certified bodies, you're hearing from people from all over the world.
Yeah.
And you can choose kind of what applies to you and use your best judgment to say, okay, like that's something I can take away from this and take some action on.
Do you think it also has to be driven by the companies itself to say, we need to invest in our workforce. We need to do that. That means I have to spend money to do that, and do it consistently. Not just, hey, today we had this meeting and it sounded great, so we're doing it one time, but over a period of time, and really focus on that culture of education.
I mean, the culture of education, that's such a, you want to talk about almost intangible value, it's huge.
Yeah.
And that's why there's different levels of training out there, right? Because it's not just, education is not, okay, I went to college, or this is purely my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also why I identify with the mission of the company that I'm, working with, because education is not once and done. Life is an educational process, or at least that's, it's a holistic view where you're saying, okay, I got a college degree, or I got my master's, or I got this certification. It doesn't stop with that. That's the beginning. That's, okay, you took a step there. Then it's about implementing. It's about sharing. It's about bringing everybody else in. Like you're saying, building that culture of education is everything.
What would be your take on inspiring next generations, the younger people? How do you touch them? How do you inspire?
I think setting the tone from either a leadership or a generational regard is really, that's where it begins, because like we talked about with building that comfortability, with extending that olive branch, it's like if we're not doing that, then we're putting it to that younger generation to do, and they might not know where to even start. We set the tone for what that looks like. So it's really on us to dictate what that future is.
And being consistent, not many, and maybe this is the digital age. Sometimes we take, we're going down this road. We're going to be able to just push and do what we want to do, and communicate because we're passionate about it. And then all of a sudden, you hear crickets and nothing really happens, and then you get discouraged, and then it's like, okay, that didn't work. We have to have that tenacity to just keep at it, and recognize that it might not resonate maybe this time, but maybe you touch somebody in a positive way there next time. Maybe one person, maybe it'd be two next time. But you have to have that sort of macro understanding that I have to persevere. I have to keep pushing. That's what I think is the responsibility of all of these companies, that they've got to see that. That's a great purpose to get behind. You agree?
Yes, and means of doing that. So we attended an event, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, it's called Empowering Women in Industry.
I saw it.
By Charlie Matthews is kind of the spearhead of it. We love Charlie.
What's her publication?
Empowering Pumps.
Empowering Pumps. That's right.
Yeah.
Which is always just like, I miss it. It's Empowering Pumps. I don't. Okay.
But so we were at this event last week. It was our first time participating, and it was the coolest blend of professional development, but also alignment with industry. And I think it is my takeaway from it, so the badges actually at the event were just your name. There was no company, there was no title, no location. And at first I was like, and we found it interesting because we take for granted that when somebody walks up to us, we know information about them already.
You just go down, okay?
Yep.
I got it.
But it stops us. What I realized, my learning from that, we don't ask questions. So that event as a whole was so fascinating because we asked questions. I've never walked away with more actionable actual relationships from an event. then that, because we got to having conversations, and that was such a wonderful experience. But I think we take for granted that we know, even just by, color of badge, we know exactly, there's those key identifiers at these shows, which help. I mean, they're large shows, but I had people the day after sending me links on Instagram for follow-up calls. I had an inbox of LinkedIn connections immediately because they made it easy for that connection to happen. So not only asking questions, but really focusing on and taking the lead in nurturing those relationships would be very helpful for the next generation, I think.
So a couple of things that I always struggle is trying to get that message out. So I'm a big LinkedIn guy, so I'm going to go on LinkedIn. But am I missing a segment of a market and not posting? Let's say I don't do anything on Facebook. I don't do anything on Instagram. Am I causing? And I don't do anything on TikTok. Okay.
I think an industrial talk TikTok could be, maybe that's the next thing.
And so I'm having my conversations with my kids, and I say, do I need to go down that road? Do we need to sort of, do I? And what do you think?
I'm sure the answer was yes. I'm sure it was a resounding yes.
This is just because there's a segment of the people, kids, young people. That's how they consume it. And when I was a boy, I can remember this vividly. In second grade, we were watching film, and I remember this one was the manufacturing of bread and put in a truck and how it got to the store. I was second grade, and I still remember the dumb thing. It touched me, and it was so cool. It was like, that I get it. And that sort of helped a little bit.
Yeah.
On I think that's cool stuff. I didn't know that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we need to do the same thing.
Yeah. I am in full agreement. I think
I don't know what that looks like, but I know.
But we have to start somewhere, right?
Yes.
So just by having the conversations like you do, that's where we start. And then we have to actually take action and implement that. So just taking these takeaways and saying, okay, my goal now for today is going to be to find 2 or 3 people who then we can see about looping in maybe a different way.
Yes.
Right? And giving them a platform.
Yes, but you're in it. You do that. We need to teach all of these individuals to do the same thing.
Yep. Maybe by getting them pink sneakers first would be a good way. You don't.
Oh.
For those who can't see, Scott's looking under the table. Yeah. He's like, wait, what? He might be the only one in the room that didn't notice the pink sneakers.
I didn't.
It's okay.
I was like, what? That's awesome.
It's a pun on the energy, right? That's why we do this for the brand, because it's the pink energy, the vibrancy.
Yeah.
It starts conversation. We actually developed some relationships just in the line at Starbucks this morning. And so it's like, it's creating connection in day to day.
Yes. I'm a better person because of you, Paige.
Oh, likewise.
Yeah, shut the front door.
We're open for business here. Doors wide open.
It's true. How do people get a hold of you?
So LinkedIn, Paige Haddy, or email paige.haddy@mobiusinstitute.com.
You're on LinkedIn, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did you just say
Big
LinkedIn?
LinkedIn. I did, but it's okay. We can say it again. LinkedIn all day.
LinkedIn all day. Are you on TikTok?
No.
No TikTok.
Not yet.
I encourage you to get on TikTok. All right. Her name is Paige. Mobius Institute, Noria. I can't believe, how long have you been the Noria connection?
So they were acquired earlier this year. I've been in that role for maybe 3 or 4 months now.
Yeah.
So we're doing big things.
Yeah.
We're really excited to bring training together and, again, bring people together in different mediums.
Yeah.
So a lot of things to learn.
I like it a lot. All right. Her name is Paige. We're going to have all the contact information for her out on Industrial Talk. Her LinkedIn stat card will be there, and you'll say, she's amazing. And that's Mobius Institute. The whole thing. You need to make this a priority connection. Big time. All right. We're here at SMRP, and we are on the floor, on the ground, happening, talking to people like Paige. It is a major event. You need to put this on your calendar for 2026. We're going to wrap it up on this side. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
How about that for a conversation? That was exceptional. Loved it. SMRP, You get to meet great people like Paige Haddy, Mobius Institute, as well as Noria. They're both the same. They're just right there as we spoke about it. You need to reach out to her. You need to make her part of your network. Please do so. And again, if you're in the world of asset management, reliability, maintenance, and technology, you need to be a part of SMRP. And you need to go to that event. So put that on your calendar for 2026. It's a must. All right, once again, Industrial Talk is here for you. We're here to tell your story. You need to tell your story because we depend on your success. Everybody does. So you need to jump on Industrial Talk. Just go out to industrialtalk.com and just say, let's talk, Scott. I'll be there. All right, be bold, be brave, dare greatly. Hang out with Paige and you will be changing the world. We're going to have another great conversation shortly, so stay tuned.